Hey guys, how's it going?
This is another debate. What was better? Blah blah blah. You know the drill.
This time we're going to be talking about what, which one we thought was the best 3D Mario game.
Yeah. Which was better? Super Mario 64.
Or Mario Sunshine, and we'll just Photoshop in a thing here because I didn't bring my copy because this was kind of a surprise, but whatever.
Loser. Anyway, we're not only doing this because they're 3D Mario games, because they do kind of have similarities, also being like the Mario games of their system, like the primary ones, being 3D and all whatnot. Anyway, so I guess I'll go first since this awesome game came first. All right, Mario 64. This is the game that brought Mario to the three-dimensional medium, and is the game people think of when they think 3D Mario. I'm pretty sure of that. This game, it's extremely simple. It's still got the Mario formula essentially, but now it's obviously in a three-dimensional medium. So it adds more. The free roaming is great. Punching and kicking people is great while still having the ability to jump on shit. Slamming is awesome. Diving works. And I love the idea of going, to each world whenever you want. After you unlock one, different objectives. Sometimes the objectives being, what is it? Sometimes the objectives being simply simple, or maybe a bit complex. You got to do something out or figure out a few things. All around, this is a fun game to like. I mean, who the hell doesn't like this game? But it's simple, yet at the time, and still to this day in a way, fresh and new. I'd say it still holds up. So yeah, I don't have anything else to say right now.
Okay, I like Mario Sunshine more because I think that it took a lot of the flaws that Mario 64 had, improves upon them, adds a lot of new creative elements like Flood. I thought that was a cool idea, and I like the exploring Isle Delfino and all that stuff. I thought it was more challenging in a fair way, and I thought that it was overall the more creative one.
To an extent, though, it's in a way the same game. You go around, you jump into things, and you have to go back to that level multiple times.
Yeah, like
and get the big special bright coin thing.
Well, that's a given, but it's what they add that makes it different.
To me, no, the idea of just running around doing the whole jumping thing like Mario does is a better idea than the whole fucking proton pack with water, basically.
Like that's why I like this game more. I like how it took more risks. I thought that this one was more creative. I thought they did more cool things in it. And not to mention, there were some things that annoyed me in Mario 64. The first thing in this one I didn't like more was the camera. Good God, that camera pissed me off sometimes. Why can't it just move to where it should? It's like Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, the camera was perfect in that game.
The only things I could really say were better about Mario Sunshine over 64, number one, yes, the camera. Well, the camera is honestly pretty simple in this game to understand. It is awkward and has times will at times get a tad bit on your nerves. Okay, the camera you got me is better. The only other thing I could say better about Sunshine is the controls are just slightly better.
Yeah, that's another thing. I thought the controls felt better. They were more. I felt they flowed better. Or wall jumping was a lot easier. Or doing the thing.
Oh no, honestly, I had maybe that was just a coincidence, but I had an easier time wall jumping in this game.
And like that thing where you skid to the side and jump to do that super high jump to the side thing, whatever that's called. I thought that was easier to do, and not to mention, there was also, I thought at times I could not figure out how to do certain things, like that one level where you were where you had to, I think it's the 6th level of Thwomp Fortress, was the one where you have to go in the cannon and shoot at the wall to break it open. How are you supposed to figure out what wall it is? There's no indication of it. I I could
Actually,
not figure it out by myself. Mario Sunshine, on the other hand, I was able to figure out almost everything by myself, even as a little kid without internet.
That specific example, I think there was something that gave it away. A, there's not really a lot of walls around you. B, there's only one cannon, so you just gotta look basically what's around you. And C, maybe it was a graphical error or something, or just because the graphics weren't that good, being 1990s fucking 6. But I'm pretty sure that you could see like a line in the wall, and you knew where to hit, where to shoot. It did give you an indication, and remember, the title also gives you an indication.
Yeah, the title was basically just break the wall or something, and I couldn't tell, like, which part of the wall, which wall are you talking.
The indication I was telling you about, though, the line you can see across.
I never saw that all in the
game.
Well,
that one I'd say is completely your fault.
Let's see. I also don't get, why did they take out Yoshi? Like, he was so cool to play as. You could get around faster, and Mario was Sunshine, and you needed him in certain levels. You needed him to get to certain parts of Isle Delfino because he has the longer jump. You needed him to destroy certain areas with the juice that he shoots out because your water couldn't destroy it.
Well, I mean, no.
You could eat enemies and things like that. So why I just don't understand why they would have to why they would want to take it out. I don't see why they would need to.
To me, Yoshi isn't that big of a deal. I mean, whatever. And another thing, as I said earlier, the Sunshine kind of does the same thing. You go back in there multiple times. You collect what is it? You do different things to collect. In that case, the Shine Sprites, which are basically the stars. And there are levels where you collect coins. Didn't think they had to do that over again. And not only that, there are levels where you other levels where you do the same thing by chasing Shadow Mario. Doesn't that get old a bit?
No. Honestly, it didn't get old for me.
Constantly catching
It adds variety to the levels.
Adds variety? You're chasing them, and then when you get up to them, it's like, I'll just sit here for a second, let you catch up to me, and then I'll disappear and give you a Shine Sprite. Fuck, wasn't one bat enough? At least let's combat him in a different way.
And let's not forget speaking of combating things, let's not forget how easy the bosses in Mario 64 were, aka practically
how many bosses were there though? You didn't fight that many bosses compared to how many times you faced Shadow Mario. And facing Shadow Mario, if I recall, was a requirement in order for you to progress in the game to get to the point where Delfino Plaza floods.
Yeah, but the bosses that you face in Mario 64 were so goddamn easy. I mean, come on, have some creativity with the bosses, people. You've had better bosses. And let's not...
but then speaking of boss fights, what the fuck was with the boss fight at the end of Sunshine? The tub thing? For Christ's sake, why can't we ever just go up to Bowser and just do something? Sure, the final boss fight of 64 got a bit annoying, where the platform breaks apart for the most part, and you gotta, I'll admit, pretty ball busting to hit him towards the explosive. But come on, fucking hot tub or whatever.
That he shoots bullet bills at you also, and it's collapsing also, and you get less and less room.
You got that in Mario 64 as well. You've got less and less room, while he has flames come after you.
Yeah, and he has missiles come after you in this one. But here's the thing, though. Mario 64, or the way you fight him, I just found frustrating, because the timing of hitting him with the bomb was really annoying. This one, and while it wasn't as hard, was a bit more fair. And not to make...
I'm sorry, it's such a stupid boss fight, the turning the tub over thing.
It's more creative than the one... And where you had to do basically the same thing in the last 2 times you fought him, or at least they try something different with this time.
Oh, but I'm sorry, that you do that twice, where how many times do you chase Shadow Mario?
We're talking about the final boss, not Shadow Mario.
You started complaining about bosses overall, though. And at least the challenge was upped with each fight with Bowser. Look, going back, even though it's not the final boss, Shadow Mario, what do? You chase him, you spray him, the end.
And let's not...
Thanks for coming, folks.
Oh yeah, and here's another thing. Mario 64, like Princess Peach's castle and all the levels were cool and all, but I had almost no motivation to explore them. And like, the Isle Delfino in Mario Sunshine, that was so much fun to explore. You could do so much cool things in there, or you could run around and mess with everybody. You could... could like fly around. There were so many objectives and things you could do. I found myself having more fun exploring that area than playing some of the levels. For Christ's sake, like, hey, gee, I just like the open worldness of that area more than the more open world levels of Mario 64. I just thought it was so much fun exploring that area. Whereas, like, Princess Peach's Castle, I was like, this is kind of boring exploring this place.
Well, you obviously have no motivation. I was always eager to see what was behind a locked door. I honestly felt a little eerie being in there alone.
Yeah, but that's mainly because you hadn't beaten the game. Even after I beat the game and I tried playing a second time, I was like, this isn't really as fun. But when I replayed Mario 6 Sunshine, I was like, oh, this is still pretty fun to do.
Oh well.
And yeah, while Mario Sunshine, the levels were harder, I just thought it wasn't really to the point where it would be the game's fault. It was always your fault. I liked how they increased the challenge with the level design in that game.
I have no idea what you're talking about there. Mario 64, for the most part, seemed pretty fair.
No, dude, that game could... when I was talking about, like, having trouble figuring stuff out at times, that's what the challenge was for me. Mainly, like, when I knew what to do, it could be really easy at times.
Still long as hell and pretty much a challenging game, to be honest, though. Simplicity is what sells this one for me over 64.
And taking risks and adding more creative things and trying new things
I
is
wouldn't
what
say
sells it for Sunshine.
I wouldn't say creative, I'd say weird.
Yeah, and at least they tried something new for the most part. I just thought that, closing argument, I thought that Mario Sunshine took more risks. I thought it was a more challenging game, had more interesting concepts. I liked exploring the places more, and I overall thought it was a more fun game to play.
Well, Mario 64 is fun for me. I don't like the traditional Mario, and the idea of putting that in the three-dimensional medium, which I don't think they've actually done that much, really, is a much better idea. I had a lot more fun with this one. I had a more fun, despite how ball-busting, I had more fun facing Bowser at the end. And,
yeah, just tell us who you thought it was all that stuff that we say in every episode. You know the drill. See ya!